We on!
Hey yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy DJ Noble. Welcome back to another special episode of Off the Grid. Cause usually, I'm not on Friday nights. This ain't my time. But hey, Wife's out of town. She's actually at Southeastern University where my sons are at, and they're having a pretty big revival down there. So here I am. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
What's going on, man? Marcus Rogers, just happy to be here. Just interested to see where the conversation is going to go. We could go anywhere. We don't got to be politically correct with it. We just chop it up.
That's it, bro. That's it, man. For those that don't know, I've known Marcus forever. No, I'm lying. I've known his wife forever. His wife used to be a co-host with me on Urban 11 back in the day in VA, and I know that you have some ties to Virginia too, man. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I lived in VA for about 12 years, 2 up, 2 down, Newport
Yeah.
News. I was over there at Fort Eustis. I loved it. I ain't gonna lie. I thought that
too.
I was never coming back to Chicago. Like, that's the honest truth. I was plugged in to the church over there for like 11 years, and then I ended up getting orders to go to South Korea, and then some stuff happened in my life that kind of changed the direction, and I ended up going to Kentucky instead of going back to Virginia. But Virginia is one of my favorite places in the world. It's just different, man. I love it.
I love it too, man. I definitely miss it myself. I've been back here for almost 9 years, man. But it was God's providence that I'm here, man. It was in His sovereignty that I'm here. So I'm content with that. But I was back in VA last weekend with King Legend, and man, I was like, whew, I wanted to come back, man. I wanted to go back like so bad, like stay there for a minute. But it is what it is, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. Listen, man, I've been following you for quite some time, man, and there's certain things, honestly, man. Sometimes I listen to you, I'm like, man, I shake my head. I'm like, I don't know about that one, Marcus. I don't know about that one. But recently, dog, you've been saying some stuff that's really grabbed my attention. Like I thought, I'll be honest with you, I thought you was just a true heart MAGA guy, but man, after last week, like you showed me that you weren't. But that's again, I wasn't paying full attention
I
to
get
you,
it.
man. You know what I mean? And I think that's important, man. Context is everything, man. So can you explain kind of like your recent views of what's been going on in the United States?
I mean, I think that, obviously we believe that God is in control. And I
Yeah.
think, it's interesting what you said at the beginning, because I've been saying the same stuff since the beginning, but I think sometimes
Yeah.
like, not nothing, with you necessarily, because people be too busy to follow everything you say. And I
Right.
used to assume like, well, y'all should have heard what I've never ever, I was never even really into politics. You know what I'm saying? I got in trouble in the army because I kind of started paying attention around Obama and the LGBTQ stuff, but I never voted. I never did any of that. And then, I felt like God showed me what He showed me and whatever, and I kind of went with that. But I always said, like, we're living a modern day Bible story. That's
Yeah.
how I look at it. So it's like, when Daniel and them was living in Babylon, you got
Yeah.
certain people who are in charge, and it could lesser of two evils, whatever. And then God, the Bible said He raises up kings, He tears them down. So what I've seen, just in my perspective, is like there's idolization, obviously, on both sides. There's
Yes.
delusion on both sides. And I think the Bible verse that I always take is judge with righteous judgment. I always tell people you got to weigh it and do your own research and go line by line. But it always crosses over. So when Trump got elected the first time, right?
Yeah.
The people
Yeah.
who supported him, here's the truth of the matter, is they started making him an idol. And so God was like, all right, bet. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all putting more hope in him. Now I'm gonna let Biden slide up in there. You know what I'm saying? And then, but God is so good that when Biden got in there, people was kind of like, okay, I'm seeing this and this and this. And it caused like the MAGA people to humble themselves, which, oh, by the way, I've never been a MAGA hat wearing Trump supporter. For me, it's just like,
Yeah, I've never seen that red hat on you either, man.
yeah, nah, I'm gonna vote for the people that I feel like is not gonna turn America into a modern day Sodom and Gomorrah. but it's gonna happen regardless. But I feel like I'm not gonna just vote for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I know you're trying to indoctrinate the children, you're trying to, pass certain legislation, it goes back to the Bible, right? Daniel and the lion's den, it was legislation. The 3 Hebrew boys, it was legislation. Esther, Haman, and Mordecai, it was legislation. So the Bible say, be not ignorant of Satan's devices, right? So we can't idolize the politicians, but we don't want to be ignorant, right? Right. In the garden, right? Law comes through. I ain't trying to be super deep here, but law comes through word, right? It comes through word. And so God spoke the law of the garden in the beginning. And what did Satan come do? He spoke words to combat the law of God. But God had made Adam to have dominion in the garden. So Adam should have spoke God's law over Satan. But now he stayed out of it. And because he stayed out of it, there was consequences. And that's the biggest lie of the church to the church. Hey, man, just stay out of it. Don't get involved. Don't pay attention to this. And when we stay out of it, that's why we see Generation Z is identifying as LGBTQ more than any other generation, because the devil is in the schools. He's in the politics. He's in the education system. He's in the media. And we're like, oh, stay out of it. So that's my stance. I don't idolize politics, but I feel like that's an area that the devil could use. And we gotta get in there somehow.
Got you. Now, speaking of the church, man, and its involvement in politics, we see like this conundrum on both sides, whether it be the left or it be the right, where the church has idolized politics and placed politics above the church. Man, can you speak on that for a second?
Yeah, man. So might get a little bit of trouble, man. I be seeing stuff, right? So if you really pay attention to me, you see like I'm not really connected to nobody. Don't nobody really rock with me. So when people be like, oh, he's a conservative MAGA this, or he's a charismatic this, notice that none of these people rock with me. The conservatives don't even rock with me because they be like, yeah, I like to see a black man out there talking about, hey, let's vote Trump. They like that. But then when I start talking about holiness, when I start talking about living set apart, when I start talking about maybe like casting demons out, you got to understand there is a truth. People be talking about Christian nationalism. There is some truth to there is this God, Jesus and guns. And it's like, I'm a Christian, I believe in Jesus, but you don't live it. Right? You still living like the world, talking like the world, smoking like the world, drinking like the world, acting like the world, fornicating like the world, but you believe in God, right? Yeah. And you say, so there is that element. So when they see me, it's like, oh, we like to see a black man talking conservative, but and when they see what comes with that, they be like, we're gonna, push you to the side. And then the other side, you know what I'm saying? I feel like, to be honest, it's extremes on both sides. You get these dudes like Jamal Bryant, and it's like, come on, bro, what are you doing, bro? Like,
hey, so was that dress okay, bro?
Nah, it wasn't okay. Why you want people looking like I'm a realist, right? If I'm gonna dress my wife up like that, right, and I put her in the church, there's gonna be some young bros in there like, okay, like, they gonna look at her like that.
I mean, she's attractive, right? I mean, the bottom line, she's attractive. Of course,
right? And so people gonna look regardless. But come on, man, like, we gotta draw the line somewhere. She looked like she was out there booty naked. You know what I'm saying? That's not okay. And and he's got a pattern of that. Not to get off on him, but he got a pattern of, if you look in his past, the women he with dressing him like that. That dude's something else.
I mean, he says he does it like he's in charge, right? He said that he was forefront about that, right?
Yeah.
There was no question about that. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't hide it. I think him, not just Brian, but I think a lot of preachers are out there for our attention seekers. They just want attention. You know what I'm saying? Sure. And I think that's some of the problems. You know what I'm saying? We can get into the theology, the false teaching and all that kind of stuff. I think that's another subject for another day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
We probably go on that for about 2 hours. You know what I mean?
2 to 7, 2 to 10.
Right.
Oh, man. But listen, I'll say this before I lose my thought. So this Epstein stuff, right?
Oh yeah, let's go. Let's go into it.
We saw, right? We're gonna drain the swamp. We're gonna drain the swamp. This is what I personally believe, and I've been critical of how they handled it, right? Yeah. And it's funny how people never see that. Oh, you worship Trump. I have people don't know that I have the phone number to people who have direct ties to them, and I have texted them stuff for years, like, "Hey, Trump need to humble himself. Hey, Trump tripping. Hey." You know, I've texted them a lot of stuff. I even commented on the what is that TPUSA thing? I say they got this flyer, and I'm looking, I'm like, why is it all white women? Like nobody on your thing is like, yo, let's get some diversity. And it's like people already think that y'all racist, and it's like, yo, so I see people don't see that stuff. I'm texting people, calling people behind the scenes, and so I told them, I said, man, look, I think that it was, you know, oh, we're gonna drain the swamp. But when they saw the swamp, it was way more evil than they could have ever imagined.
Man, hey, bro, look, the creatures got to come out. If you're gonna drain the swamp, the creature's gonna come out.
But guess what? Guess what though? Here we go. We're gonna get crazy with it. Paul, I know. Jesus, I know. But who are you? So when you mess with them creatures, this go for Trump and this go for anybody. You can't fight a spiritual battle without the Holy Spirit. There's nothing. These people, now you're gonna get me fired up over it. These
man, go
people,
for it, man.
bro.
Go.
These people in the White House, they saw how you got people eating babies, all the conspiracies. We've been talking about the Bohemian Grove, you know, Alex Jones, a little crazy, a little wild, but there's always a little bit of truth in there. And now we look at the files and you see videos on the dark web that'll make your stomach turn. You got to understand that these are high priests of Satan. Now, some of them don't even know that they're working for Satan, but they're living in the darkness. And so you are not going to fix that politically. You're not going to be able to attack that politically. And I know what happened. They looked at them files and they said, oh, snap. We got this one. We got my homeboy over here. We got Bill Gates. You know, he connected to everybody. You got people that make the world go around. You got people, billionaires in Saudi Arabia, all the Oprah. You got all these people with all these ties. And I know because I've been in the military, right? You have security clearances. So why we going to Iraq? Don't worry about why we're going to Iraq, soldier. Why we going to Afghanistan? Don't worry about that. You just do your job. And as you go up in rank, they let you see a little bit more, and they take you in them secret rooms. And so I know that the people, I even know because Biden had the files. They was looking at it, and as much as they hate Trump, they still didn't release it because their people was in it. So I think that they looked at it and they said, oh, snap. If we drain the swamp, is it going to be beneficial for America? Is it going to be beneficial for the world? You got Prince Andrew, Roy. So that's why even Trump is saying, because guess what? If I arrest the Clintons, we're living in a world now where people are deciding, okay, Jay-Z was in the files. But all Jay-Z's fans is like, nah, that's not legit. Right? And then people say Trump is
whoever you support, bro. Right? It's always like that.
Exactly. And so now if I arrest Jay-Z, why we didn't arrest Trump? If I arrest Bill Clinton, why don't we? So if you arrest one and not everybody, there's gonna be outrage.
Bro, I wrote something like that, man. I wrote, y'all don't want to see what's in those files.
Nah.
Y'all ain't ready to see what those, they want, a lot of people say because they want Trump gone, right?
Yeah.
Because it's going to be a lot more than Trump. A lot more, like you're saying, there's going to be a lot more, bro. There is.
Sad. You can't even, I was looking at the files on the Department of Justice, and I was just looking at the pictures of the house, and I could feel just off looking through the screen. I said, oh, it was some freaky, nasty, demonic stuff going on in that house. You could feel it. And if you imagine this, I'm filled with the Spirit of God. Greater is he that is in us and even with me, it's making me heavy. Imagine what it looked like to those people in the government that are not full of the Spirit of God. And they looking at this stuff and they just like, it's gonna beat them up. Paul, I know. Jesus, I know, but who are you? You ain't like that, bro. You're not ready for this fight, and they're not ready at the White House. They're not and they won't be ready unless they get baptized in the Holy Spirit.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, we got a lot of issues there, man. Ton of issues. That's a huge problem. I mean, they talked about draining the swamp. I mean, they're draining the Epstein files right now, but they're very careful with what they release too.
Yeah.
Because imagine if they just released everything.
They'll never do that.
No,
I just
they
know
won't.
that from being in the army. I
Yeah,
just know like there's stuff need to know basis because the way that they're looking at it is like, is this beneficial for the American people to know?
like or the world, like you said
Yeah,
earlier.
or the world, yeah, because the world is connected, man. That Epstein dude, man, he was into some stuff.
Man, it's wild, man. It's wild. We were talking about the Turning Point USA earlier, the Super Bowl, Bad Bunny, and all that kind of. I wanted to get into that real quick, simply because of this. Right now, obviously, being a Christian, I've been a Christian since, I guess, a full time Christian since about 2001, bro. Right. So I remember Justin Timberlake and Janet Jackson. Right. We all remember that.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? So since that point, I've always kind of advocated, man, if the Christian, the Christians can do something else during the halftime, I fully support that. Now, the problem I had with this year is the fact you had Bad Bunny, who happens to speak Spanish, or most of his music is in Spanish, and now they want to all of a sudden, do an alternative show. Why didn't they do this like 10 years ago, 5 years ago, whenever, man, like 2 years ago? I think it's just coincidental. Again, it kind of goes back to that idol, man. Like I understand like the English is the official language, whatever. But at the same time, Puerto Rico is a part of the United States. I just think it's weird and coincidental. And the fact, not only that, they put Kid Rock as a headliner.
So
Like,
what I would say to that,
that's crazy. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
what I would say to that, not to cut you off, brother, but like,
go ahead.
I've heard people talk about doing, alternatives for a while, but then
Yeah.
the money get funny. So the Bible say where your heart is, your treasure to be. It's like, yeah, I want to do it, but I don't want to fund it. So you don't really want to do it according to the Bible.
Right.
And then the other thing is Turning Point. They're not even the ones that came up with the idea. It was Corey and Forrest Frank that were talking about. Corey Asbury, the Reckless Love singer. And so initially they was talking about working together. And I was like, I don't know how to. So they
thought it was the idea that was given to them.
No, Corey came up with the idea. He
did.
Before Turning Point ever said anything, him and Forrest had talked about it. And then Turning Point kind of was like trying to partner with them. And then Corey and them, I guess, they didn't like the direction it was going. So they was like, nah, we good on that. And this is what I'll say. I made a little flyer. It's the same thing that what I told you earlier when they had all the white ladies on there. It's like, bro, I be feeling like, who is advising y'all? If y'all saying let's have a Christian alternative, why can't we get KB, Hovey, CC Winans? There's enough big established Christian artists. Y'all went and got Kid Rock. How is that different than Chris Rock? Bro. Kid Rock ain't saved.
Right.
Rock got dirty lyrics. So it's like, what is the point of even if you're gonna do it, let's do it right.
Right.
And that's the part that be making me kind of like back off from some of the stuff the conservatives be doing. And that's why they don't bring me around. Because they know in the private messages, they be like, man, Marcus be on one. We ain't trying to hear all that. I'll tell, like, bro, that's a dumb idea. That's
very dumb.
And then Kid Rock, it feel like you trying to make a white statement. It's like you trying to make a white statement, not a Christian statement. Because let's say y'all wanted to do alternative, and there's so many other artists that you could. Let's at least do it good. No disrespect to bro. But it's like, come on, bro. I feel like people be lacking wisdom.
Very much so. I mean, you could just go like I went to the Dove Awards, right? You go to the Dove Awards, it's all mixed up. Different genres, different people. You had the diversity. I mean, you could have got some of those artists that were there during, at that time and put them on that show. You know what I mean? Like you said, CC Winans, Forrest Frank. At least Forrest Frank is hip hop. You know what I mean? Like you could have You could have some type of diversity, bro.
People. So what I meant to say at the beginning too, though, what I learned about the church though, and the church be funny, bro, because people be wanting to get the credit. I learned this just doing conferences. You get a bunch of preachers together, and it's like I need to be preaching at the 7 o'clock slot, and they start arguing about that kind of stuff. And so a lot of times, why Christians can't come together and do anything It's because people be wanting to shine. Like, who's going to be the main singer? Who's going to get the lead? Who's going to get the prime time slot? And that's why we can't really have no unity, because it's no humility.
Say that one more time.
We can't have no unity because there's no humility. You know,
No
preachers,
humility.
singers. It's like everybody want to be. Even when I be doing little, try to get little Christian concerts and stuff going. It's like, people just. This is the way that I feel. Like, if you really anointed, hey, you're gonna get that work regardless. I've went to conferences and every other preacher, they arguing. I said, look, I'll be the 1 p.m. preacher, rather. So they'll put me at the 1 p.m. slot, and everybody arguing about the 7 p.m. But guess what? When you give me that 1 p.m. slot, hey, we're gonna cook, baby. We're gonna cook. We're gonna let the oil flow. So it's like you gotta work, just work with what you got. You know what I'm saying? If you don't get the main spot, hey, it's about God anyway. That shows that your heart is off. Just take it how they give it to you.
That's the bottom line, man. So in Chicago, what do you see? Like, what is the church like there? I mean, but let's talk about Chicago, period, man. There's a lot going on in Chicago. I thought about this earlier. I was like, man, you got Ben, what's the name? Ben Johnson? Brandon Johnson, excuse me. Brandon Johnson. The mayor.
We got Ben Johnson too, the coach.
The coach. Yeah, that's right.
Bears, Ben Johnson.
Yeah. That's right. You got Ben. You do have Ben Johnson. You have Brandon Johnson. What's the climate like there, man? Like the political climate, and what is the church doing in Chicago? Or if you know anybody, what's the church doing in Minneapolis? What's going on in these communities that there's a big ICE influence and things of that nature, man. I'm just kind of curious.
Let me just say this before I even dive in, because this is the part I hate about the internet. So as far as ICE, right?
Yeah.
To me, it's like, bro, leave the Latinos alone. If they working hard and they ain't being, just leave them alone. Because I had some people, my church is predominantly in a Hispanic community. So I had some people come in. I said, I'm not gonna snitch on you. Like, you good.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the problem is there's two extremes, right? So you have these idiots in Chicago and I just did a video about it today. Oh, we're good. We don't need the National Guard. We got the nickname Chirac for a reason. They just robbed a man in broad daylight the other day. Every time it heat up, people get shot up. And the police, scared to do their job and all that kind of stuff. And then, right, it gets all political. My thing with the ICE stuff in Chicago, it's a difficult conversation, but people don't realize how bad it is. Just go take 5 minutes and go look at some videos of the border and go talk. Most guys in ICE and at the border are Latino that work for them, right? And go look at what they're saying. And you got all these dudes, military age men, coming across the border, and they not Latino. They from Egypt. They from Syria. They from all these places. And the reason I'm talking about this is I saw a video. They came across the border and they asked the Border Patrol guy, there's like, am I good to go? He said, I want to go to Chicago. He said, you can go wherever. I can't stop you. And Biden was putting these people on buses and dropping them off in the city. And then here's the crazy thing. We don't got no money for our veterans. We don't got no money for the hood. We don't got no money for the Latino communities, but you bringing all these migrants in and we giving them cell phones for free. We giving them food stamps. We giving them benefits. All of a sudden we got money. Our taxes crazy in Chicago, right? And we need to defund the police. We don't got money. We got this. We got this. The schools ain't being funded right, but we got all this money for these people that it's not women and children. It's grown. And so it's like, I feel like people just can't hear that. They make it about, they reduce the argument to it's Trump versus Hispanics, and we ignore the reality. So we can't even have a real conversation, and so it's just Chicago in general. I remember when Lightfoot was the mayor, they had the big protest. I never forget this, man. I got the video still online. These people was marching, and like, I felt like the Holy Spirit was like, go over there by your old college for some reason. I was with this chick named Bevelyn Beatty. And so I'm like, let's go over there. And lo and behold, right when we got there, this big crowd just marching. F the police. It was getting ready to tear up the block. And somehow, some way, me and her was like in the middle of the crowd. And then they opened it up and they said, hey, does anybody want to say anything? So I got on there and I used wisdom, of course, so I ain't get beat up. you know, but then I kind of told him like, yeah, you know, there's some corruption in Chicago. And they're like, yeah. And like, yeah, but I said, Jesus is the answer. And then they was like, yeah. But it was like, it diffused them. But what was crazy when you was listening, you had gay people, liberal people, and they was like, F Mayor Lightfoot. Even the gay people didn't rock with the gay chick. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, wow. Like that was what was so crazy about it. And so, you know, Chicago, man, it's just, obviously we got the violence, the churches, we got too many fruity gay pastors, you know, they ain't really about nothing. And then there's a lot of religious politics as well. You know, if you come to Chicago and you drive from the north to the south, you can see how racially segregated it is, like literally, right? So in the north, you got like the white people, the Polish people, Ukrainians, and then you come back a little bit, and this is where I grew up. It's like uptown, there's a little melting pot where you got everything. But then as you keep going south, you have the Latinos, and then you go further, you got the blacks. And it's just segregated just like that, you know? So I've
been on that train, man.
Yeah, the
L? Man, you know what? That was one of the wildest trains I've ever been on. And I've been on trains in New York City. New York City's is cake compared to Chicago, man.
Yeah.
Chicago's, y'all different, man. Y'all different.
I've had some experiences on the train for sure, man. Like, I messed around, fell asleep one time, man. My mom had kicked me out the crib, right? So I ain't had nowhere to go. So you go on the train when it's cold, right? That's where everybody. Man, I fell asleep and I woke up and this dude was hovering over me. He's like, oh man, I was like 17 and he was just freaking out, man. To this day, that still give me like, you know, little nightmares or something, man. He was like, I don't know what he was getting ready to do to me, man. I said, I'm about to punch that dude, man. Train wild, man.
Yo, I've seen some characters on that, man. Like, I don't remember New York all that much other than like the diversity, like the different ethnicities and stuff like that in New York. But like Chicago, bro, like that train is wild. I've seen some characters on that joint, man.
Yeah, man.
It's crazy. It was crazy, bro. Like, anyway, man. Yo, let's talk about your music, bro. Like, your music is different, in a way that it feels like it's, what's the lack of a better word, kind of separate than a lot of CHH. You know what I'm saying? It's not mainline. It's not mainstream CHH.
Yeah, you know why?
Why do you think it's like that, bro?
You want me to be honest?
Let's go.
You want me to be messy?
All right, yeah, let's do it.
Man, I remember I did this podcast with some brothers. I ain't gonna say who they are. I'm gonna be nice. Okay. But you know, it be these narratives about you. And I always tell people listen to the kids, right? My brother told me this many years ago. Yeah. And he was like, the kids will tell you the truth if the music. So when I make music, you know, I'll show it to my kids and they'll be like, nah, dad, that one ain't it, or whatever. And so I'll show them other Christian artists and my kids just won't be interested with a lot of the stuff. Sometimes I feel like the stuff they saying is good. Yeah. It's just not that. I'm like, man, somebody lying or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And so anyways, you know, the truth of the matter is when me and my brother put out that first project, you know, Rapzilla showed it some love there, and it did very well. It went viral on TikTok and all of that kind of stuff. But I remember there was so many Christian artists, rappers reaching out, man, want to do a song. You know, some of them with Lecrae, a lot of these people, like, you know, kind of begging. And it's like, it's just like the politics. This is why I call it Christian Illuminati, right? Yeah, so I'm not going to name the names because, you know,
you don't have to. I'm in the business too, man. So
that phone call goes out, and it's like, hey, if you do a song with him, I ain't gonna rock with you. And to be honest, a lot of people had to choose between me and Lecrae. That's just the truth, you know. And I've said some things that, you know, Lecrae ain't like, and so I eat that. I'll take whatever comes with it. I'm gonna say what God told me to do.
I've seen those videos. I've seen those.
He done grew a lot. I'll say that. He done, and what I tell people is like, just to say something to explain that a little bit. People sometimes they don't get it. I'm like, man, I'm feeling this about Lecrae. I'm feeling this about Maverick City and the Spirit. I feel like, and then to hear him come out years later and say, yeah, man, I Diddy party drunk. This, hey, don't judge him, but at the
Yeah.
same time, it's like, see, God was showing something, you know, in the spirit,
Yeah,
and he's
yeah,
doing
yeah.
better. So I'm happy to see him better, but it's a lot
No,
of politics.
I love the deconstruction joint, man.
Yeah,
I love that project, man.
and he puts
Yeah,
out good music.
yeah, yeah. I mean, he's pretty, especially recently, he's been pretty vulnerable about his walk, as you said, man. And you can do nothing but respect that part. You know what I
Yep.
mean? So, and he's a dude of character too. Like it's crazy, man. I kind of have a story with him too, man. I met him when he was real young, like 2005, man, when he first came out with Real Talk, and we sat down in Norfolk at an IHOP for about an hour, 2 hours, just talking about life.
Yeah,
And it was crazy. I just recently saw him a few months ago, and I approached him. It's been 15 years, maybe. And he said, "Hey, Noble, from VA, right?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "You still there?" I was like, "Nah, I left a long time ago." But the fact that he acknowledged me,
yeah.
you know what I mean? And he's been all around the world. You know, it's like, yo, that was kind of dope, man. Just
I would say
hear
that, to be honest, brother, like when I don't think these people are bad people.
Right, right.
Right. The way that I look at it is like, and people don't agree, but it's like,
Yeah.
for me, it's like I'm challenging you to
Yeah.
go deeper. So, for example, the fraternities thing. Hey,
Nice.
Lecrae, I'm not trying to come at you, but
Yeah.
check this out. Look into this. And so it's I don't think he's a bad person. I don't, and a lot of the people,
Yeah.
like, I don't think they're bad people. It's just
Yeah.
like, I feel like, hey, let me challenge you a little bit, push you to go a little bit deeper about it. You might not agree, but let's at least have a conversation and
Yeah.
see what the Bible say, you know?
Yeah. And I noticed too, even where he has the deep end too, like one thing I saw about Lecrae too, just to give him some credit too here, is that I remember he had a podcast. He was talking to somebody about, I think it was yoga.
Yep.
And he's like, yeah, and the person he had on, the guest he had on, said, talking about how demonic it is and stuff like that. And he got to think, he said, man, do I really want to do that again?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, to me, that was a, a
That's
moment
good.
to grow too. Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. He grow. And I know, like, I know that he's been listening to me, you know what I'm saying, on and off. Cause
all those guys do, man. They always listen to you.
Sometimes he's responded, directly, sometimes indirectly, but hey, all glory to God, because my heart is, I would say this, the heart of my ministry, people don't understand me, right? When I was in VA, matter of fact, that's where I got in that shootout and they shot the truck up. And I was so grateful to God. I remember, I'm talking about, they shot the whole thing up. And this was like my second or third time getting into it in the club. And mind you, I'd already been to Afghanistan, Iraq. I was out there committing adultery, doing stuff I had no business doing. And God spared my life. And so by the time this happened, it was like, I had tears in my eyes. I said, God, I'm so grateful to you that whatever, I said, give me the job that nobody else want to do. I never forget that prayer. I said, I'll do what nobody else would do. I'll say what nobody else want to say. And I've kept that word with God. You know what I'm saying? And people might not always agree, but my point is this. When I read the Bible, it tells me that in the last days, it's going to be a great falling away. People not going to endorse sound doctrine, and that there's going to be many false Christs. Even the very elect could be deceived. So when I look at everything that's going on, I'm like, yo, we are in the last days. And if we believe what the Bible says, then everybody who's saying they're a Christian ain't a Christian. Everybody who's saying they good ain't good. Broad is the way that leads to destruction. Narrow is the way that leads to eternal life. Few there be that find it, right? And the Bible says, if you love the world, the love of the Father is not in you. So when I see Christian artists out there loving the world, acting like the world, I'm like, yo, that's not biblical. I don't hate you. But there should be, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. So if we fear God, I got to move different. I got to live holy. I can't go to the Diddy party. I can't be doing this and doing that. You know what I'm saying?
That's a tough one. That's a tough one.
What is your intentions by being
there? That's a good question. I don't know what in particular that part was, but I think a lot of times too, man, I think a lot of the issues within CHH has to do with like where you are, I guess, spiritually or denominationally. Like, you got a big reform movement, right? And then you got the Pentecostal.
That's something Dayton told me about from Bizzle and them.
Yeah.
If you look at the history of CHH, he was like, back in the day, like if you spoke in tongues, they blocked you off of that.
Yeah. No, that's
in the
true.
CHH. And it's changing now, but there is some of that at the foundation.
the foundation. I mean, I think the foundation, but I think a lot of that has changed, man. I haven't been in the game for about 7 years
Mm.
until last year. Like I took about a 7 year break. I didn't really listen to a whole lot of music, whole lot of Christian hip hop or anything like that. And the one thing I have noticed is there's a lot more unity within like that community, right? Whereas before it's like a lot of people were standoffish based upon what their belief systems were, based upon their doctrine. And like you said, if you were Pentecostal and a rapper, it's a rap for you. You know what I'm saying? Like it was kind of like that, man. Unless you just stood out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm glad to see that there's some healing, I guess, for lack of better words, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
There's some healing within the genre. There's a lot more unity. I mean, there's still some division because people have their own perspective.
I mean, it depends. I guess what we say is unity. I feel like there's the in club and there's the out club.
There's a lot of that.
If you in the in club, then there's unity for the most part. But then that's where the gatekeeping comes in. It's like you have to think like us to get in this space, and if you don't, we're gonna block you. My biggest problem with CHH, honestly, there are some good people, but I feel like nowadays you could get saved yesterday and be rapping tomorrow,
the next day.
And then it's like, okay, but have you been discipled? Have you are you living that life? Who's your pastor? Where's your accountability? And so what irritates me, one thing about me, I may be a lot of things and I'm a flawed man, but I'm not a fake man. I'm a be me. You know what I'm saying? Right. And so one thing I hate, and one person I really relate with is 50 Cent. That's why sometimes if you see me kind of like getting into it with people, I could get a little petty. I could get a little, you know what I'm saying? I got some of that in me, right? And one thing that irritates me is like in rap in particular, right? You rapping on these hard beats, you talking hard, but then when I look at your life, bro, you don't stand on nothing. I say, people rapping about demon killers who don't cast out demons, right? People rapping tough, talking about it's like, in real life, you're not like that. So in the world, if you a suburban kid and you rapping like you gangster, real gangsters are gonna come check you. And now you don't want to rap no more. Now you like MGK. I want to go be a rock star. You know what I'm saying? And so it's, I feel like in CHH, if I'm being real, my biggest pet peeve with CHH is I see a lot of these dudes, they acting like they cool, rapping like they hard. It's like, bro, but where's the fruit of your life and ministry? That if you was a singer, if you was a Christian R&B singer, that's different. But for you to rap like God, and you don't stand on nothing, and the only time I see y'all take a stand is against racism, the world ain't gonna hate you for taking a stand. Talk about some other stuff, but you won't. That's why I can't respect it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's good. That's good, man. I feel you on that. Yo, where we at, man? Let's see. we moving, bro. We moving. We've covered a lot of ground, man. Like I was thinking this was gonna be all political, man, but we've been going all around the circle, bro. And
we could go back. We could go back to the politics. I'm pretty sure people got more questions.
No script,
like, you want to go,
bro. I came in with no script whatsoever, man. Just because I wanted just something really, really pure and really thought provoking. Not that a script doesn't assist with that, but you know what I mean. I was like,
you want to talk about the Trinity?
Trinity.
I know you done heard some stuff. That's another area where I get some grief. Listen, I ain't got no issue with the Trinity. Like I ain't got no, but people believe what they believe. That's another reason with the CHH.
Oh, so you're oneness, like you're oneness.
I'm not anything. I'm not anything.
You're not anything. Okay.
Nah, so now, but if people say I believe in the Godhead, Father, Son, Holy, it's cool. My only issue is I said, man, everybody uses these words. They're not in the Bible. Fine. But I wish people would understand my argument when they ask me about it.
Tell me. I want to hear it because I don't think I know this.
So my argument is people will assume somebody's saved because they saying the right things out of their mouth. And so when I first blew up on Facebook and World Star and all that stuff, people was loving me, like, oh, motivational, preaching with the props, all that kind of stuff. And then people start saying, what denomination are you from? So nobody had nothing bad to say. It's just like, yo, he's on fire. And then I was like, oh, I go to a Pentecostal church. And it's like the whole temperature changed. And I saw this happen in real time. And I regret it to this day You know what I'm saying? It's like all of a sudden you just said you felt the spirit when I was talking, right?
Right.
You just told me, and now because I tell you I go to this church, it's not real anymore. And that, I'm gonna be honest with you, that hurt me early on, and I got defensive. So then I start getting in these debates, you know, this versus that, and when God matured me, this is what I tell people. I believe in the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. I believe that Jesus is God, but I don't claim to be a Pentecostal, Baptist, none of these, because in the book of Acts, they didn't do that either. The Bible says to endeavor to keep the unity of the Spirit. So when I talk to you, even through this computer, I could tell that you have the Spirit of God. And so in the book of Acts, they weren't running around saying, hey, are you a Baptist? Are you Pentecostal? And guess what? When persecution comes, they're not going to say, do you believe in Trinitarian Jesus, Baptist Jesus? They're going to say, do you believe in Jesus? And that's it. And so how I try to live is look at all the exposure that's happened for years. Pastors for 20 years. I'm a Trinitarian, but you touching little girls, right? And we assume because they're saying the right stuff. So I tell people, I'm not going to do that. Good. I'm going to test the spirit. And so we call good evil and evil good. So if we say the right words, they say he's legit. And then when they fall, you know what we do? Oh, I know he was sleeping around with 2-3 broads, but give him grace. We just got to pray for him. But then when somebody who's not from your denomination falls, I told you he was a wolf. And so when I saw all that kind of stuff, I said, that's bro. That's fake.
Yeah, I don't like it either, bro.
For your people, that's not righteous judgment. And the Bible says unjust scale is abomination. So for me, this is how I look at it. You either filled with the Spirit or not. You either believe Jesus is God or not. And I go from there. I can work with you. We don't do no denominations. Do you have the fruit of the Spirit in your life? Do you have evidence that God is with you in your life? And do you believe that Jesus is God? And I'll leave it there. We can kick it. Let's have unity, baby.
Right, yeah.
That's it for me. I tell my church, they'll tell you, they say, what kind of church are y'all? We say we believe the Bible from the back to the front, every line, every word. That's it.
Hey, yeah, that's like my church a couple weeks ago, man. I had a lady come. I was doing security. And so she came out the sanctuary and sat down on this couch. And so I just walked her to make sure she was all right. And she said, what kind of church are you? I said, we're a Bible believing church. she said, but I come from a Kojic church. I'm like, well, if you're looking for Kojic, you probably won't find it. Now you might find some people that were Kojic that are here, but to me, I wanted to really say it doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? Like, we're all believers. You know what I'm saying? We all believe that Jesus is God. I mean, the word is solid. He talks about, you know, our pastor specifically talks about holiness and sin and all this other kind of stuff. The stuff that matters. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's wild, man.
It's the presence there. I always at my church, I bring pastors from different camps. And I know they from this camp. And I don't tell my people. And I said, only thing you need to ask yourself is when this man preaches, do you feel the Spirit of God? Because there's a lot of places you go, God ain't in the building.
Yeah.
Spirit ain't in the building. Emotions might be in the building. So instead of looking for
I've been to a lot of churches like that, bro.
Because that's where a lot of people go wrong. I got to go to the black church because I'm black. I got to go to the church that's around the corner because it's convenient instead of going to the church where the Spirit of God is and where the truth is. And that's the problem. So when you go to church, even if you disagree, do I feel the presence of God? Because if the presence is, and here's the crazy thing, man of God, this is what really blew me. I've seen people that are from different denominational camps who can't stand me, but everything we talk about is the same. I'm like, bro, you talking about in your YouTube videos, we have the same perspective. We're saying the same things, but because we might disagree on deliverance or disagree on it. So how is it that the Holy Spirit can talk to you and the Holy Spirit can talk to me and the Holy Spirit is telling both of us the same thing, but we can't talk to each other?
It's the technicalities, bro.
That don't make no sense to me.
You know how, but you know how petty humans are.
Oh yeah, petty.
You're petty. We're petty, man. That's the bottom line, man. We're just petty.
And pride, petty and pride. And here's the thing. God resisteth the proud.
Yeah.
And that's why people, when you go to their service, it be dead. That's why when you go to their service, you don't feel the presence because you're operating in pride. That's why even Stephen in Acts 7, he had to come to them jokers. He said, hey, you Pharisees, you doing, but you ain't doing. You're
Mm.
doing all of this stuff. You got all this motion, but you
Yeah.
ain't doing what God has called you to do. And so you wouldn't know a move of God if it smacked you in the face because it got to be this way. And
Yeah.
if it didn't come through the temple, it's not God. So and people, nobody thinks they a Pharisee. And nobody thinks that they're religious. But you're religious if you do anything religiously. So then that's where we talked about earlier with the unity. No, we have to have the Turning Point name on it. We got to have the Republican Jesus. We got to have the Democrat. We got to have the Baptist Jesus, the Kojic Jesus. And if it's not me and my people on the flyer, my denomination, we can't co-sign it as God. And that's why Stephen came. He said, "Hey,
Oh my gosh.
God was moving before there was a temple. God was moving before y'all had y'all religious robes. God was moving all the way back when he told Abraham, get out of the land." So God can move without your temple. He can move without your fancy clothes. He can move without your denomination. So our heart got to be as believers. I want to be where the move of God is. I want to be where the hand of God. I don't want to be where there's the Republican Jesus and no Jesus, the Democrat Jesus and no Jesus, the big church with the mega ministry but no presence. I got to be where the presence of God is because the world is too crazy, too wicked, too evil. And that's really the heart of my ministry, bro. I be trying to tell people the only thing that I fear is the presence of God not being with me. I don't fear no man. I don't fear nothing. I fear what Saul happened. The presence departed. And I tell the church, I say, if we ever come in here and we don't feel the presence of God, we did something wrong. You know how I know? Because the Bible said he inhabits the praises of his people and his word cannot return void. So when we praise God, he must come in. His presence has to come in. And if his presence isn't coming in, we've got a problem. And our last thing I'm going to say, I know I'm ranting a little bit.
Nah,
but
man, I'm gonna get to some. You got my wheels turning.
Church, white church. Now Latinos, I give them a little grace because there's a language barrier, right? You got to do it. But even then, let's get an interpreter up here because Jesus said, if I be lifted up, I'll draw all men unto me. So especially, let's say you in Chicago, you in New York, in a big city with a diversity. If you got an all black church, that means to me, you lifting something else other than Jesus. Because the Bible can't lie. If I'm lifting up Jesus, I'm going to draw all men, the white man, the black man, the Spanish man. If you really walking in power from God don't discriminate. Power work for the black man, the white man, the Spanish man, the stripper, the gangbanger. If you walking in that power and that light, we are a city set on a hill that cannot be hid. People are going to be drawn to it. But if I'm lifting up politics more than our race, more than that's where we get clicks in the church because Jesus ain't the main thing. Now, we could talk about all those things, but we can't put it above Jesus. We can't put culture over Jesus. It's a lot of people that don't see the hand of God in their life because I'm going to go to the black church because I'm black. And God is like, what if I want you to go to church with all them white folks? But we don't even think like that. We just, I got to be with my people. No, you need to be where God wants you to be. Acknowledge him in all your ways. He'll direct your path. And sometimes God will send you to places you don't feel like going.
Right. That's right. That's right, man. I wanted to say I brought up Southeastern University. I don't know if you seen what's going on over there.
No, what happened?
The last couple of days, revival has broken out like tremendously. Even other places in Florida, because it's in Florida, right?
Okay.
Near Orlando, between Orlando and Tampa. That's where my sons go to college.
Wow.
It's an Assembly of God university, but the state school in Orlando, the University of Central Florida, is broken out in revival too. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah,
yeah, you gotta check it out, bro. Like, it's everywhere, bro. It's everywhere. I mean, so it's really dope that my wife happened to be down there to be with my sons for something else that's going on, and I'll share it with you off air. But it's crazy. So she's down there praying for kids, and kids are coming up to her, and you know what I'm saying, and they're asking if they can pray for her. Like it's man, it's so dope what's going on. But I say that to say this. One of the reasons why I knew revival was breaking out and why I understood it is because I don't know what you think of Philip Anthony Mitchell.
Love him.
2819.
Love him.
I love that ministry, man. Like I did a video shoot in Atlanta a couple months ago. And I was there through Sunday morning. And so I was like, I found out they had service at like 7:30 or 8 o'clock, something like that. So I went to a service, man. He wasn't even there, bro, at all. But you could feel the spirit of God in that place, bro. You can feel it from the people. You could just feel it in the atmosphere. I mean, from the ushers going up and down with tissue boxes. You know what I'm saying? Like you can sense it and feel it. And it's been a while since I felt something like that, bro.
Yep.
And then I found out after the revival broke out at Southeastern that guess who was there? Philip Anthony Mitchell.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So if the spirit of God is on you, man, it's going to follow you wherever you go, man. It's no coincidence that revival broke down. And I'm not saying it's all because of him,
Of course.
but it's just how the spirit just kind of moves in certain places, man. Like it's to me, it's tremendous, man. And I get that. I say that to say this also, man. He's caught in a lot of flack from like the Black liberation theologians, excuse me. And they call them all kinds of names.
They be tearing them up on threads.
They turn them up on threads. But
Bad.
dog, I'm gonna tell you this, man. If you have gangs of Hebrew Israelites showing up at your church every Sunday, you know you're doing something right, bro. It's not only just the spirit moving, but they're showing up to your church. They're not going to show up to the other guy's church because their theology is a lot like their theology, to be honest with you, bro. You know what I'm saying?
So with Philip Anthony Mitchell, man, when he's one of those ones, man, when I first saw his videos, and I'm gonna just be honest. Now I know because people hate me, say it, so they don't like when I say stuff like this. But when I saw him preaching, I'm like, yo, he preaches how we it's like in my spirit, I knew, yo, this guy's one of us. He's talking about holiness. He's talking about, and then I seen he's talking about, hey, if we don't vote right, Bible gonna be illegal. And I said, this dude got something. And I reached out to him. I sent him a little message, and it was cool. He's like, hey, bro, keep doing what you're doing. Real short, nothing long or whatever. And one thing I said, the hate is gonna come because I remember. I know from what happened back in the day with me. They was posting my stuff on World Star everywhere. And I wish, man, but it don't matter. I wish I could go back and do things differently. Because you got to understand, when I was doing what I was doing back then, people weren't preaching on the internet. People didn't really start preaching on the internet till COVID. So I had to learn through trial and error, and I made a lot of mistakes. He came up in a way, right, where people saw the preaching, same thing that happened to me, but they didn't really know some of the things that he really believes. They didn't know about what church he came from. So I knew, and that's why I said pray for him. The hate's coming. When people found out that he came from that one dude's church, Carpenter or whatever, not Carpenter, the other one, I forgot what his name is right now. When they found that out, they said, "Oh, he a MAGA preacher. Oh, he's one of those. He's one of." And then when he said what he said about obeying the law, he started. And then the more he talked, it was like, wait, we liked your preaching. Itching ears, right? Think about this. Everybody loved him. Everybody was saying good things. But as soon as he starts saying some stuff that goes against your feelings, even though it's biblical, now he's a this and he's a that. And it's only gotten worse. I see it on threads. They be tearing. But here's the crazy thing. I knew that he was like, how would you say? By the spirit, I wasn't surprised. I said, I know he talks like us. The way that he moves, you know what I'm saying,
and bro? And he went to an HBCU, which is wild. Like
he's solid. Now here's the question. Here's the question, right? Everybody going to that church. If you're really being a hearer, not a doer, and I don't mean this in a funny way, we should have thousands of Philip Anthony Mitchells rising up. Are you just going to just go?
I think there are though, man. Like,
there are. There's some,
and it's, but at the same time, when it comes to that, man, like, there's only going to be so many of them too. You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna only have a handful, even in a congregation that big, bro. Like, you know what I mean? They're there. You're gonna raise them up, but
he got that other guy that he be connected with, Timberland or something like that.
Yeah.
He seems solid too.
I think he was at the revival too, or. It was just supposed to be a conference, the Southeastern. I found out my wife called me. She said, your son is still asleep. It's 11 o'clock in the morning. And then come to find out, bro, he was at church at the chapel until 7 a.m.
Wow.
Like, he needs hungry. Yeah. None of the kids are hungry, bro.
And
real
they
hungry.
are. And you know what? And to talk about that, you know, well, two things I want to say. You know, nowadays you can't just shout out any pastor.
Yeah.
You know, I like one of my other favorites back in the day was Miles Monroe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then a couple of, but nowadays, the way these pastors getting exposed, you gotta be careful who you shout out, you know what I'm saying? But then also another interesting thing about what you just said, the kids is hungry, right?
Yeah.
But I look at like a Justin, and this is another problem I have with the Christian music industry. And you know, you get people like Justin Bieber. He kind of been in, out, and then now he on the Grammy singing in his boxers, right? And then a church gonna bring him, you know, in a month or so, let him lead worship. But the Bible say they that worship must worship in spirit and truth.
Yeah.
You can't go out into the world and make filthy music and then come in the house of God and lead worship. But when y'all allow that behavior, y'all sending Justin Bieber off. He's hungry, but he's not getting a disciple. And I remember, you remember Mace?
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah.
So, you know, I sat down with Mace a couple times and I talked to him, and he told me like when he first came to Christ, the pastors, they wanted him to be Murder Mace. They didn't want him to change because they looked at him as a dollar sign. Same thing with Kanye. They're in, out, in, out. So people are hungry, but then we not giving them the true gospel. And we letting them live in the world and then coming to church whenever they feel like it. And that's why I'm praying even for Jelly Roll.
Yeah. Oh yeah, big time, bro. Big time. And you can see the spirit of God moving on him, bro.
Yeah.
Big time. Big time.
But they still, but guess what? You know why they got to get discipled? Because Satan, that's why when you look at Kanye and you look at Justin Bieber, people like, what's wrong with Justin? Is he doing drugs? And you see he be looking weird because Satan would hate for somebody of that caliber to come and really, I'm talking about all the way fully transformed, living for God. So Satan's going to attack them like crazy. So even if the Spirit of God is moving on them at one point, if they don't get discipled, they're not going to be protected. And so they can go up, 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 and then Satan going to hit them hard. And if they don't get discipled, you see what happened to Kanye.
Yeah.
What happened, and then they go back. And that's the part,
even
like,
Malice. Yeah. Malice.
Yep.
I mean, I got to know him a little bit too, man. Like, had some correspondence with, met him a few times, man. But yeah, it's sad, bro. Like it's sad to see these things happen, bro. Like, and one thing I do know, man, talking to some people from Hollywood, they say it's difficult to get out the game. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like once you're in Hollywood, it's hard to get out. You know what I'm saying? Out of that mindset, out of that lifestyle.
It can be done. I mean, look at Jim Carrey. He disappeared, fell off the map.
Yeah, I mean, so basically, you can't stay in it. Nah. You know what I mean? You can't stay in it if you're going to live that way. You know what I'm saying? Live a life for Christ. It's hard. Well, it's hard to. I wouldn't say you can't.
Even look at Denzel, bro. Denzel is one of the ones I always respected, right?
Yeah.
But even with him, that last Gladiator movie that came out, talking about they had him kissing the man and stuff. I said,
really? No, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, man, the interview. And then he interviewed, anybody could look it up right now. And he was like, yeah, we did it, but they took it out of the film. I said, come on, Denzel. I was disappointed. But, you know, he's always kind of been solid and talking about God and things like that. Yeah. And I was like, even with him, they was getting him to mess with the fruity stuff a little bit.
Yeah, it happens. It happens, man. Man, Marcus, this has been real, bro. And you know, I want to apologize to everybody commenting, man. There's been a million comments. I just didn't have the comments on over here. So I appreciate everybody chiming in. There's tons of them. I don't even know how many comments are out there. I think it was over 92 or something like that. So I definitely appreciate y'all chiming in and saying some stuff, and hope you guys online had some good dialogue back and forth. But yeah, man, Marcus, I appreciate you coming on, brother. I really do.
Good conversation.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're gonna have to do it again, man. Or if I'm in the shy, bro.
Yeah, come holler at us.
I did get the invite. Jasmine thought I was in town about a year ago. She said, "Why don't you come to the church?" I think we had to roll out, man. Something happened, I think, at home, and Southwest will let you fly out if you fly with them like early.
Yeah.
So we had to roll out and go back to the crib, man. But yeah, man, I love Chicago.
Hey,
man.
if I'm gonna let you know. Firehouse a little different. I don't say this arrogantly, but everybody who come, They said, man, I ain't never been in no church like this. That's all. It's all what they say. Well, I said we worship in there.
Yeah,
and we turn up in there. Hey,
yeah.
You'll see. I don't say that like in a bragging way. You're gonna see. Hey, I got some hungry souls, man. You got to kick them out.
Yeah, that's dope, man.
We'll have service at sometimes 3-4 hours. They still don't want to leave. Like,
wow.
That's why I'm ready for, like, I know God about to do something in Chicago.
But that's when you know your church is doing the right thing.
Yeah, no, for sure.
When people don't want to leave church, it's a difference when, you know, the people looking at the clock. I've been in several churches or been a part of several churches where I'm looking at the clock, man.
Yeah,
we got 30 minutes to go.
Because the preaching must suck. If you in the church and you looking at the clock, something ain't right. Either the preaching suck, the worship team ain't in the spirit. Because if the presence, now here is one of two things. If the presence is there, and you love God, you're gonna love being there. But if the presence is there and you still looking at the clock, that make me wonder, do you even like God?
Bro, look, hey man, hey, don't judge me, Marcus. Look,
man, I ain't talking about you.
Hey, no. I'm about to tell you a story.
Okay.
I used to be in this church, right? Because the Lord led us there, right? I mean, honestly, sometimes the Lord just leads you whether you want to be there or not. And I'm not going to say what church, but there was about a 5-year period where I would fall asleep. And my wife would have to tap me to wake up. I was man, the seats were real comfy. You know what I'm saying? They turned down the lights. And all of a sudden, I know my wife is tapping me. Hey, get up, get up. Okay, I'm sorry.
That's a setup right there.
But now, man, I'm at a church, bro. Like, I'm locked in, man. Like, you know, you got my attention 100%. So,
hey, you got to tell them stand up. Hey, when I grew up, we had them hard pews. Now you ain't sleeping on those. And when I grew up, man, Sunday was Sunday, Saturday. Hey, mama putting on the gospel music. We cleaning up, and then Sunday. They have morning glory service. So we got to wake up about 7, and that you got an 8 o'clock service, and then 10:15 you got Sunday school. After 10:15, 11 o'clock you eat breakfast. 11:30 is the main Sunday service.
Wow.
Then we eat lunch, and then we got the 7 p.m. night service. So Sunday was the Lord.
That's the Lord's day, man.
And then Wednesday you got Bible study. Friday you got Hour of Power. Saturday we need some volunteers to clean the church. They ain't come up like
y'all stayed in church, man.
We was in church. So
yeah, I grew up in a Methodist church. Well, that's another probably not another topic for another day, but yeah, we were done in an hour or less, in and out. You know what I'm saying? It's fast food, man. It's fast food, bro. Yeah, I'm not going to even get into that, man. I want people hitting me up. I ain't trying to answer those questions, bro. I ain't trying to answer those questions. I'm just glad that the Lord came and saved me, man. So that's the bottom line, bro. That's it.
Yeah, but again, Mark, it's sad, bro. It's sad. It's sad when you think about it, though.
It is. It's very sad.
There's a lot of people that they do religion. Yep. And then it's like they not really tapped in with God like that.
Well, it's a political show. I'm not going to say who, but I went to a church. I went to a Methodist church recently, and it was like going to a Democratic Party convention.
Yeah.
It was wild, man. I'm like, is this church? I remember I watched my pastor on my phone before the service began. Man, I was like, I got to get some word at least. I was like, man, these man, I can't, like, yo, it's wild, man. That's kind of what I want to talk about a little bit too. But we're about to get off. But yeah, man, just how the church has been politicized, man, and that's a huge problem. Like I said, from the right and the left, man, and
we can't have these kind of conversations, brother. That's what the real problem is. I think that's why, because I know that was one of the main things you want to talk about, but it's like, people don't want to sit down and have the conversation. So what they do is they create a narrative about you.
Yeah.
Marcus Rogers is a MAGA hat, Trump worshiping. but then if you actually sit down with me, to hear me out, then it's like, okay, you do got some points. And he's not Marcus Rogers don't kiss nobody, but he don't kiss Trump, but he don't kiss. But the problem
is what I like about you, bro.
is because it's people in Christianity, they want to put you in a box, a denominational box, and it's then either you for black people and against the police, or you for the police and against black people. Everything is a box, and it don't work that way with God.
Everything,
so we
man.
sit down and have a conversation like, bro, I understand your perspective. You want nope? It's just gang banging, and then it's like, bro, I'm not even in the MAGA gang.
Right.
That I'm in the MAGA gang. You see what I'm saying?
I told somebody recently who said they were disappointed in me, man, because they knew me from a kid, and I'm like, look, I said, look, I take everything case by case.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Case by case. So if Trump is doing something wrong, I'll speak about it. If he's doing something right, I'll speak on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember one of the things from his first administration, he was gung-ho about adoption and about foster care. And I'm a foster parent. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I love that. It's good that he's doing that. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, like, nah, don't give him any credit.
You know what you just said right there, too, which is crazy, man, because we could have talked about this earlier.
Yeah.
So it's not just MAGA.
We could have a part 2, bro.
Hey, it's not just MAGA that idolizes Trump.
Yeah.
The Democrats and the people who hate him,
they idolize
him too, because they obsessed with him. Obsessed with attacking him. I mean, on that man's behind, bro. That's
man, so basically, you saying TDS is really an idol. That's interesting, bro. I never thought about it that way. It is an idol.
Yeah, I used to. Well, I ain't gonna say that because I used to have these people who was obsessed with me. That's another reason. Yeah. You know that I used to tell. I say, bro, is you from the rainbow community? Like, how you waking up with another grown man on your mind like that every day? You know what I'm saying? You making 1,000. You know, but so sometimes I be seeing stuff, and I will tell you this though.
Yeah,
everything you see happening to Trump is gonna happen to Christians. I know people don't like when I say that, but the truth of the matter is, like, for example, the Venezuela, the Nigeria stuff, he did some good things.
I love that stuff. I'm glad. I don't know what you think about that, but
I loved it. But you know why I loved it? Yeah. Because I saw that the people in Nigeria and Venezuela loved it. They were like, "Thank you." So why am I listening to the white liberal woman, you know, that ain't from there, talking about it's a bad thing,
bro? Even like here's the argument with that, as you probably know, right? The argument with that is like, man, Trump is just down there for the oil,
bro. We could take we could take, even if that was the case, though, we could take the oil if we wanted to take the oil a million different other ways. And let's not act like Russia ain't trying to take the oil.
It ain't all them other countries, man.
And the Venezuelans was like, Trump, take the oil. I see in the video, they was like, you can have the oil. We so grateful that you got rid of Buddy. Take the oil. It wasn't benefiting us anyway.
And then you rebuild the economy down there with the oil.
Trump, you know, talking about, you have all the refineries. Talking about no taxes, man.
Yeah,
I want him to take the oil.
Like, I don't care, man. I don't care what they do, man. Like, I don't care what the people get liberated. You can rebuild the economy with the oil that they have. You're not giving it to China or Russia or all them other people. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, he might have been there. He might have been there for his own benefit, his own greed, and his other people that are with him. Their greed too. But I don't care.
But those are the same people though, right? Like when you tell them like Trump wasn't taking a salary to be president and he was donating his salary.
Yeah.
So what's his evil intention behind donating his salary? So that's why I'm like you. If it's right, it's right. If it's wrong, it's wrong. And if we can't have an objective conversation, I ain't even trying to talk to you,
bro. That's why I wanted to talk to you today, man. That's why I was trying to get you on. I'm like, man, Marcus sees things the way I see them. Yeah. This is kind of dope. Yeah. We got to talk about this.
Yeah. A lot of times people have this is something I pray to God about, because this is one thing that really I've struggled with. Sometimes I say, man, God, like, I'm so sick and tired of having to fight people's imaginations about me. Right? Like, people think I'm a Freemason. They think this, they think that, and people really.
I'm curious. Why do they think you're a Freemason?
Because there are people out there that are so obsessed with me for years. Like, I'll give you a big one that really hurt me. Okay. There was a narrative for years. Marcus don't believe that Jesus is God. And it was Christians that were saying this on their platform. Wow. And I felt like, I said, God, you know that's not true. Like, but it was like, but then you know what the Lord told me? He said, they did it to me.
Mm.
When the devil sees you as a threat,
Jeez.
if he can't stop Marcus
Jeez.
Rogers, then the only thing I could do is slander you and put a false narrative so people don't listen to what you got to say. Because the devil, like, I don't want to, and that's what you see happening with Philip Anthony Mitchell. But the good thing with him is that he's already, people have fought me so hard because even though I have a platform, they feel like they can still kill me. They feel like they can still abort me. Philip Anthony Mitchell, these other ones, like people feel like they are what they are, so I can't kill them. You know what I'm saying? But when you're like kind of in between, people will be dedicated. If they feel like they could kill you, they're gonna try to kill you.
Hey, let me ask you this, Marcus. Do you think when Stephen was in glory, right, and he was being stoned, do you think he felt any of those stones when he was being pummeled with stones? I don't think he did, bro.
You just brought up one of my favorite humbling things that ever humbled me. When I was a kid, this is gonna sound crazy. I used to fantasize about, man, I'm gonna die for Jesus one day, right?
Yeah.
Because I looked at the apostles, I'm like, yo, they really love God. They was really like that. And I remember I was in Kentucky and I stubbed my toe on the bed, and the pain that went up my leg, bro. I'm talking about, I like the Family Guy little thing. I was like, and I had this thought.
Yeah.
I said, man, what if somebody came to my crib and they took a hammer to my toes one by one, and then it was like, deny Jesus. And then I had an even crazier thought. I said, what if like Islam or somebody took over and they're like, we're gonna take your daughter in the back and we're gonna do something to her until you deny Jesus. And then bro, I remember that moment humbled me. And I said, you know what? There's no way I would die for Christ without his grace. And so now that moment changed my life forever. And I say, listen, I can't do anything outside of his grace. So if it ever was to come time for that, it would only be by the Spirit and his grace that you would be able to take that. And so I believe with Stephen, maybe he felt one or two, but then because he was able to look up, that was it. He ain't feel it no more.
Yep. I don't think he felt much at all.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah, that's crazy. Hey, Marcus, tell everybody where they can find you, bro. We're gonna get out of here, man.
You put my name, in anything, you'll find me, good and bad.
They'll find you either way, huh?
They'll find. Hey, you know what's so crazy? I know Google be hating on me, man. You put my name in Google. As long as I've been preaching on the internet, it's like all the people who hate me, their stuff pop up first.
Really,
come on, bro, man.
I should be telling people where they can find me.
Yeah, you should. Go ahead.
I don't how these people up here, man. So
tell them.
I appreciate everybody tuning in. You see it right there on the screen, man. Off the grid, ICE. That does not mean immigration. No, that's Indies Collective Entertainment. Just in case you were wondering. So like DJ Noble at DJ Noble ICE. You can find me there too, man. So either way you find, it's funny that I'm telling people where they can find me on my show. That's dope, though. It's not as easy to find on the web as you, Marcus. So I appreciate you coming in, though, man.
You good people, and it's no surprise, man, because my wife is an amazing woman of God, man.
Yes, she is, bro.
She connects to really solid people, man. Yeah,
I appreciate her, man. Like. And I, you know, I got to know her when she was a little bit younger, I think, in the Lord, man. And I could see, really, I saw God moving. I don't know if she felt it or she sensed it, man, but I could definitely tell, man. Like, it's really cool to see her transition and get married to you, man. I was like, man, I was really happy for her, man. So
she ain't even in her final form
to
yet,
both of y'all. Huh?
She ain't even in her final form yet, bro. When God told me she was my wife. People gonna see here pretty soon why she was my wife. You know what I'm saying? Like she about to take off, brother. So
bro, I already knew something, man. So congratulations to you and both of y'all, man. Y'all are definitely dope, a dope couple, man. And somebody I kind of look to you know, get some inspiration. You know what I'm saying? If anybody's gonna be inspired by marriage, man, they need to look to y'all, man. For real.
For sure. Come holler at me when you come to the city, man, because I definitely like your spirit, man. I know we're gonna get along fine, man. So
oh yeah, no doubt. I have to get the shot. I gotta get back, man.
Yes, sir.
When it gets a little less cold.
Oh yeah, summertime,
Bro.
fall.
So I went there last February, man.
You messed up,
Bro. I barely made it like 3 city blocks, man. Went back to the hotel. We definitely weren't going to the pier that time.
Yeah, now we
Nope.
different around here, man. I be out here in a t-shirt and stuff, man. People think I'm crazy.
I mean, y'all used to it, man.
Yeah, we used to it, man.
Used to it. It gets cold here too. Kansas City gets cold, but it is what it is, man. Marcus, thanks again, man, for stopping by and being on the show, man. I definitely appreciate you, and hopefully we can do this again.
Yes, sir. Bless you, brother.
God bless you.